Over the course of 2 full seasons on F125, we eventually made Brad Pitt an F1 world champion. And after a long wait and hundreds of comments asking for more, career mode is back. F126 brings brand new regulations and cars, a completely new style of racing, and of course, new teams. We started at the very back of the grid with Apex GP, so we're going to take on that exact same challenge and try to make Cadillac a top contender in F1. However, the real goal here is the Drivers' Championship, where we'll be attempting to climb our way to the top as the one and only Valtteri Bottas. This is going to be quite the journey, navigating new regulations and racing styles and stricter control over car development. There's going to be a lot to learn with these new regulations, but we're not going to stop until Bottas gets his hands on that trophy. Alright, just like last season, we'll be going up against the 110% AI, and apparently, they're much more consistent in F126, so we'll see how that works out. Oh boy, it's been a long wait, but we're back. And yeah, here's our guy. Soon to be world champion. This is going to be a very interesting season. We've got a full 24 race calendar, including the new track in Madrid. And we're going to have to navigate these new regulations, all this battery stuff. It's kind of fitting we're playing as Battery Bottas. Well, right off the bat, we've got some resource points. So we're going to go ahead and spend that on aero development. There's not much we can do at the moment, but I'm sure this will open up more. So we are pretty far down the order in terms of the car. We got a lot of work to do to close that gap to the top team. So it's gonna be a long journey. All right, not much we can do here. We're just gonna get right into it. Round 1 in Australia, which is pretty much like the home race for Bottas at this point. Here he is. Bottas makes his return to F1. This time, not in Lewis Hamilton's shadow. He's not going to be the world's nicest teammate.
Valtteri, it's James. Please abort the fastest lap attempt for the end of the lap.
We are going to try to absolutely destroy Sergio Perez every single race. If anyone deserves a second chance, I feel like it's this guy. All right, first practice session of the season. New regulations, new cars. We've got a lot to learn, especially with car setups and how this generation is going to handle. I did talk about this in my previous video. I've literally done one other race on this update since it came out, and there are definitely some changes in terms of handling, but also, obviously, the style of racing as well. That is going to be a big thing. Yeah, this is the unfortunate reality of F1 right now. We've got the boost mode engaged. It's completely battery reliant. Okay. That was scary. So there's a pretty major problem, at least with this car setup. The rears are locking every single time into that corner. I don't know how to fix it. It's not the brake bias. There's just something that's not clicking all the way with this setup. So we're gonna have to make some changes, but once we get that fixed, we'll head into qualifying. Okay, first qualifying session of the season, and I would like to politely remind everybody to set the bar very, very low. I do not have a high expectation at all. Okay, decent lap for our first run in Q1. Our only objective here, really, is to beat our teammate in qualifying and in the race. That's kind of like, that's kind of all we can do at the moment. So that's our objective. All right, our second lap in Q1. Something that's kind of tricky I didn't think about was the battery deployment in qualifying. I don't really know the best place to use it, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, that's 7/10 up on our previous time. We'll see where that puts us across the line.
Well, that's qualifying over for us.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And, oh, that is gonna take some getting used to. Alright, P21. So, yeah, okay, we did lose out to Perez, but we'll beat him in the race. I'm not worried. So the team originally wanted us to start on the hards, but that's what Sergio's doing. So we're gonna stagger the strategy a little bit. We'll start on the mediums, 11 laps on the hards and then finish out the end of the race on the mediums. But I think most likely it's a two-stop race for everybody. I don't think any team has the tire wear development for a one-stop yet. So the important things here are to beat our teammate, obviously, and I want to get a couple of key takeaways for how to manage the battery, because this is going to be a learning experience for everybody. Okay, well, here we are, starting P21. Definitely not the best qualifying position we've ever had, but we're going to try our best to make it work. 5 red lights are coming on for round 1 in Australia, and we are racing for the first time in the Cadillac. Great launch off the line, already passed our teammate. Going to try to cut through the traffic down into turn 1, really close to contact with Alonso, passed by the Racing Bull, but we'll definitely be close enough for a dive down the inside into the next corner alongside Alonso. Now up to P14, still side by side with the Aston Martin, but we'll pull ahead. A little bit of contact, but that's P14. We might actually be close enough to get Ocon here. It's crazy how much extra power you get with this new battery. You're gonna fly past the Haas. We'll have the outside for the next corner. He's coming back on the inside, but we'll swoop around Ocon and take P13 almost into the points. Everyone is still very bunched up. That's only the first lap, and we're still pretty close to the pack here. So I think we can go for more moves. We're within a second now, too, so we've got the boost mode on Lawson up ahead. So we are going to dump the battery here. We're going to reel him in like it's absolutely nothing. Insane speed with this battery. So that's up to P12, kind of a traffic jam in front. We lose all the momentum through the corner. So I guarantee you, Lawson is coming back for another move. We've still got the inside. So late on the brakes, we can keep P12. This is definitely a better start than I was expecting, but I'm not sure how it's going to pan out with the battery. We really need to do a good job managing this. So Gasly and both the Red Bulls up ahead. The Red Bulls are still kind of fighting, but everyone else has kind of settled into the race. So as long as these guys keep kind of scrapping, there might be a chance to get into the points here. A little bit lower on battery this time around, but we're going to dump it down the straight and see if we can get a move done on somebody. It looks like Gasly's the one that's going to get passed up to P11. A little too far back from Hadjar to make a move, but I think we're going to see Gasly absolutely flying through the corner. He'll have more battery. We're completely out. We've got the inside to try and defend from the Alpine, just a little too far back. Oh, there we go. There's our first DNF of the season. God, the rears are just, like, sliding around. They're not cooperating at all. We're having trouble with that corner in practice, and we're going to have trouble down the straights. There's Lawson into turn 1. Alonso as well around the outside on the Aston Martin. We can at least defend from Fernando. We're going to have to defend again. I'm going to try to save the battery and just use the racing line to defend on pure pace side by side with Alonso. He's still on the inside. Try to dump the power on exits, and we can finally get ahead. All right, well, we've got the boost mode. We've got plenty on the battery. So we're going to dump it here and see how much energy it's going to take to get past Liam Lawson and back into P12. Already down to 20%. The problem with the battery in these cars is that even after you're done... Oh my god, there's the rears again. There's Lawson up the inside. Side by side with the Racing Bull. He gets better traction on exits. Nothing I can... The rears on this car are just like completely unstable. I mean, what is that? That's so bad. We could be close enough for a dive down the inside on Lawson. Can't make it stick. That wasn't too far back. I'm afraid to brake with the way these rears are. They're locking for like every single corner. It's so bad. I don't think it's a tire wear issue, but we're going to head in at the end of this lap anyway. On to the hards after we fend off a move from Alonso once again, side by side with Alonso through this section. We can keep him behind for now. But yeah, onto the hards. Hopefully that helps with the rears. Yeah, I'm like afraid to brake all the way. And even so, the car is still like not really digging in. So that hopefully the new tires help. We can't go for any moves if you can't send it down the inside, you know? I just realized we don't have a nickname yet for the Bottas pit crew. Oh no. I mean, the Brad Pitt crew has been retired. We need to workshop that. We've got Sainz on our ass now, and I'm wondering if it's even worth defending because we have to use battery to stay in front. And then we're kind of just out of luck if we want to re-overtake. It's so weird. I'm like praying the rears don't lock up. We'll make the corner this time. So maybe it is a tire wear thing. Or like the rear temperatures get too high, or I don't know exactly. I do know we just went way too wide. There's Sainz. Passed us up into P15. But we got a lot of the battery, so it's kind of like fine, right? Dude, it's so insane that you can make a mistake like that and still get the place back on the next lap. Look at the speed we have on Sainz. Gonna breeze past the Williams. Insane. Purple in Sector 2. We've dumped all the battery, so we've got nothing left. Sainz is gonna now have a run into the next corner. He's gonna have the inside. Gonna try to outbrake the Williams around the outside. The rears go again, and Sainz gets us. This is stupid. I have to say, I never was a fan of these rule changes, but I definitely understand why all the drivers have been complaining, because it has nothing to do with your actual pace. It's more so just how you manage the battery and when you choose to use it. Oh, there we go. Second DNF of the race. This time it's Leclerc, so that'll help us out. We'll go up to P11. We were kind of in no man's land for a bit, but we do have a couple cars gaining on us behind. But we are now only one spot away from the point. So if we can defend from these guys, that is possible. Yeah, Lawson is definitely going to make a move here. We're really low on battery, so I don't want to use any to defend. We're going to still have to lift and coast into the corner as well, side by side with the Racing Bull. It makes it so much harder to defend when you have to think about the battery. We'll get him back here, but I don't think this is gonna last very long. Yeah, he's just gonna get a better run through here. There's literally nothing I can do about that. We've got Ocon behind as well, gonna take up the middle of the track, try to close the door on the Haas, but that's Lawson ahead once again. Well, our pit window is open, so we're gonna come in at the end of this lap, finish out the race on the mediums, and hopefully that gives us just a little bit more pace, and we don't have to rely so much on the battery. You guys are gonna need to leave some comments below. We really need another clever nickname for the Bottas pit crew. It might be a little bit harder to work with, but I don't know. We need something. Anyway, on to the mediums. Coming out P16, 9 laps to go. The important thing here is that we are ahead of Sergio Perez. That is technically the only goal that we need to accomplish in this race, and honestly, in probably a lot of the races at the beginning of the season. So we are still in a car that is low on pace. It's easy to forget that. So, I mean, technically, we're actually having a pretty good race. The whole battery management is one thing, but I've been very afraid still to hit the brakes in some of these corners. That last corner and then this left-hander up here have been really, really sketchy. So that's definitely not helping the pace. We are definitely going to see a move from Colapinto here. I'm going to try to not use the battery, force him to the inside, kind of get him off his line. Around the outside we go, still side by side with Colapinto. He can put the power down earlier from the outside there. So down to P15. However, we've got plenty on the battery. A good run through that right-hander. We've got the slipstream, we've got the battery, and we'll take that place right back. I have a feeling that we're probably going to be dealing with Colapinto for the rest of this race. So really a lot of emphasis on the battery management now. I do not want to get caught out with no power. That's like worst case scenario. We are consistently gaining on the Audi in front, so we do at least have more pace than them, at least right now. But Colapinto and Alonso are still right behind. Like, we're gonna have to fight them. We'll be safe into turn 1, but I think after that, we are in a bit of trouble. We've got pretty much nothing on the battery. Colapinto's right behind, so we will see a move from the Alpine. Around the outside he goes. We've got the inside line, side by side, with the Alpine squeezing him to the inside. A little bit of contact. Maybe pushed him a little bit too much. Yeah, this is definitely less than ideal. 0% on the battery, using all of it just to try to stay ahead on this straight. Pretty much 3 laps to go. It's gonna get tight. We're gonna stay on this inside line. It'll force Alonso to the outside. So as long as we're even under braking, we should be completely fine to defend from the Aston Martin, keeping P14 for the time being. With how strong these batteries are, the gaps kind of don't mean as much anymore. Even if we drop Alonso back by around a second, he can very easily make that up if we're low on power. So this is probably going to come down to the last lap, and I don't think there's anything we can really do about it. 0.6 is the gap to Alonso, so we've got a little bit of space. We can use this straight to save the battery, and we should be safe from a move. Here we go, on to the final lap of the race. We've got a little bit left on the battery, but Alonso is gaining down into turn 1. We're going to squeeze him to the inside of the track and try to swoop around the outside of turn 1. That'll cover off Alonso for now, and if he did use a lot of battery for that, we should be safe. Just dumping all the battery we have left down this straight. Alonso is not gaining any time, so he should be out of battery as well. And I think as long as we can make it through the final couple corners without locking the rears, we should be good. Just a couple of corners to go. Gonna try to keep the rear end of the car stable through here and put the power down as soon as possible. We should have Alonso covered off. He is right on us, heading towards the line, but it's going to be a P14 finish in Australia. P21 to P14. Definitely a better result than expected. That was that was an interesting race. Well, we weren't the fastest car on the track today, and that's that was expected, but we did beat our teammate, which is the most important thing, and we did learn a little bit about these regulations. It's going to be a big learning curve, but we'll figure it out. It is definitely very different, relying on the batteries so much. We're not going to be fighting for podiums anytime soon, but that's the whole point, you know? We'll get there eventually. Well, that's going to be it for round 1. Definitely a better result than I expected. But just as a side note, this is technically a driver career mode. So the way it was working with the Brad Pitt one was it was a My Team mode. Unfortunately, in the F126 update, you can't use an official team. You have to create your own team, own livery, everything. If you guys are interested in that and we can run these side by side, like the Bottas one and the My Team, let me know, because these ones are fun to make, and I know you guys like the My Team format. So let me know down below what you guys think, and I'll see you for the next round.